Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny Penton, founder of Planner Perfect. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to create plans that stick. Stay tuned. Welcome back, you guys. This is going to be a really great video to help you succeed in your planning life and to create a life that you love. If you're new to me, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified when I release a new video, which has been daily so far. And also my other socials. Be sure to join me over on my fans group on Facebook, Planner Perfect, to join me for journaling live every week, as well as other great like-minded women in the Planner Perfect community, and also my IG on Planner Perfect. So anyway, I am so happy that you're here. Let's go ahead and get started. How to plan so that it actually sticks. We want to be able to create plans we actually do. And I feel that if you're in my community, you already know a lot about how to make that happen. I'm going to even dive down to another layer to really help give some of you some really great revelations so that you can actually just now soar. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing is, and this is kind of new for me to express the to-do list in this way, but I feel that this is what needs to be done so that women really understand and get the revelation needed. And that is, to-do lists, number one, if you are new, to-do lists to me are always done out of context. And women, usually, majority of you, will live off of merely a to-do list. I'm here to tell you that that's the wrong approach because you're segregating your life from what you want to do. If you interweave them within your life, you then will have more success because you are integrating them into your life. I mean, after all, you've got a to-do list and you've got your life. Your to-do list, your life is what's happening with your to-do list over here, nagging at you, like, meanwhile, you're living your life with all of its interruptions and what happens, and when you're trying to do some things and get some things done, but your to-do list is over here nagging. Let's go ahead and understand that. So that is how I approach to-do lists so that you can achieve success in what you do. And it's worked for me for, as long as I've been 21 years old and started a family, and I have 8 children, and it's worked for me. And that's why I'm sharing it. So in order to succeed, really, you need to be able to integrate to-do lists and be able to know how to write those out. I've got so many videos on that, so make sure you do catch it. If you are new to, be sure to catch my video on how you can get started with the Planner Perfect method. So now that we got the foundation of the to-do list and where I stand, I'm going to rephrase to-do list entirely. I'm going to rename it, okay? In my community, we're renaming it. It's really mini goals. I think a lot of times we don't accomplish certain things because of the way that they're named, and we don't give it the integrity it deserves. So I've never come from a place of devaluing to-do lists. I mean, after all, our life is just one big to-do list. Am I right or am I right? I mean, that's all that it is. Our life is a to-do list, but it's how we approach our life. It's how we approach planning. It's how we approach anything in life that makes or breaks you. Honestly, it's the mindset, it's how we approach it, and it's how we do it. There's gotta be a system in place of how you view things, how you view your life, how you're viewing you, and then how you are going to approach your things that you want to do. They're they're mini goals. They are like broader goals, really broken down. So like you want to be a writer, so today you got to write, 30 pages. Or today, you want to be a runner, so today you're going to run for 10 minutes. They're mini goals. So each day are all of these mini goals that you want to accomplish. So why is it so hard to accomplish them? Because you've separated them from yourself. You've also devalued them, for heaven's sakes. And you need to be fully persuaded that you want to do it, which we're going to touch on that in another second. But first, let's call them mini goals. These are mini goals. Let's not devalue this. These are huge. So you better get a good magnifying glass on those mini goals and make sure you want to do them. So value them, give them integrity, interweave them into your life, make them full of intention by giving them the details they deserve, which segues us into number 2. You must be fully persuaded. Okay, so you need to look at that mini goal and make sure that you want to do it. A lot of times women make mistakes, and I have before years ago, where you would fill out your planner with all of these little half hopes of accomplishing, okay? You cannot be gray in any area of your life. You just can't. You just can't. Now, if something is less significant, where then if you like either today or tomorrow you're going to do something, of course. I'm talking about things that you really want to accomplish and you keep failing at it. I'm talking about these things that you really you've got to get her done. Yet a lot of times they're getting pushed, and you're just not getting that traction. It's because you're not fully persuaded. And so then look into then another layer back. Why aren't you fully persuaded? Let's look at a couple options. Timing. Timing is everything. Are you trying to accomplish something that you just can't do right now? That the timing is off. Maybe next month is a better time to be completely, fully persuaded, convinced, and ready to accomplish. I mean, honestly, it could be the best mini goal in the world. It could be something that is so good for you, you should be starting yesterday. It is so good, but yet, and you're beating yourself up because you're not doing it. Well, let me tell you something. I'm a perfect example because I always know, it's like, I don't care how important it is for me to do. If I am not ready, I am not ready. And I always make sure that I look through my mini goals and say, hey, this is not the right time. I'm struggling with it. I'm not able to do it, and I'm exhausted. So one of the scenarios was exercise. Okay, now we can all freaking agree that exercise is important for everyone, right? Well, I kept setting these goals that I was going to get back into strength training. Okay. And all the treadmill, and I was going to do this, and I wasn't doing it. And then I started to investigate, and that's what you got to do. It's introspection, which is part of this method. It makes you do that because of the value you put on your life and how you plan. Okay. It's just really, it's just right there for you to do. It's intrinsic. It's right there. You just know to do it. So I looked at it and I was like, you know what? My timing's off. I watch my grandchildren, and it's too much on my plate. It was a temporary thing where I had to watch them almost full time. I also was exhausted. My health started to decline a little bit, and I needed to make sure that I bumped that up to a priority in terms of seeing a doctor, a functional medicine doctor, finding out what I was deficient in, get some blood labs done. I'm not going to go run on a treadmill when I've got a billion things on my plate and I'm circling about a billion different things. Okay. And so I said, you know what? I'm not going to exercise. I'm going to pull it. And when I did that, I knew that I would do it again. It went over to the running to-do list. Check out my video on a running to-do list if you don't know about it. And that would be at a later date. But for now, I was going to completely delete it. The timing was not right. Even though it's beneficial for me, I'm active, I'm not a loaf. And so I knew that, I get 10K steps a day on a bad day. And so I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and let that go, that goal of mine, that mini goal. Well, and then within 2 months, I started to get some traction with my health. I started to get my labs back. I started to get some answers. And I was like, you know what? I started to get a little bit less with the grandsons. I already have like 5 kids here, my own kids. And I was like, you know what? I'm ready. I'm ready to get back into strength training. I was fully convinced. My sister said also, hey, let's do it. Honestly, I don't even know if that kind of greatness of combining with my sister and even collabing with her on different things for the future was something that I don't know would have been spoken of if I was already into my own program and all of that. My point is, timing is everything. Timing is everything, no matter how great the mini goal is. The timing's got to be right. And, God is also in with timing. There's a time and a place for everything. And even though it's amazing, if you're not ready, you're not ready. Okay? So don't beat yourself up. Maybe the timing's not right, and delete it and put it on your running to-do list if it's still something you want to obtain, and revisit next month and see if it's ready then. You'll know. Another thing that could be is that you're not fully convinced. You haven't done your research. Let's talk about diet. I think there's probably 1 billion ways you can diet and how you can feed your body. And it gets so freaking confusing. I think we can all agree that eating whole foods is where it's at. Eating organically, it's where it's at. I think we all get kind of stumped in, and that's what trips you because you're gray, okay? You're like, having, a piece of this cake or that cake daily is certainly not bad. So you're gray. You're just like, certainly. You're already gray. So that plan's not going to last very long. No matter what it is, whether it be diet or some area that you're not fully persuaded in, if you've noticed that you're not accomplishing the mini goal, your steps you need to get there, then make sure, go back, do your research, and really figure out what it is that works for you, that's true for you, that you believe it, you're convinced, and you're ready. Get those two things really melded. Now you're cooking, okay? Now you're cooking with making plans that stick, okay? So you really need to know all of these things, these facets of life. There is no just one magic thing. There's no just one magic anything. But within the whole facet of how you plan and how you look at your life and everything, you need to take a look at. I'm going to add another one here that I'm just coming up right now. Your health. I'm telling you, it's going to be my new thing because I have dealt with it myself. Make sure that you put your health a top priority. You may be a woman right now that might be struggling a little bit in some area of your health. That will be a mini goal killer instantly. And you'll really be mad at yourself. Like you feel like you need the motivation. But here's the deal with motivation. You don't use motivation to do any kind of goal or any kind of goal. You must act, and then motivation comes after. So if you weren't aware of that, now you do. But you cannot ever go by feelings to move. You go by your goal and what it said to do, and you take the feelings out. This is what you're doing. You're going for it. You catch momentum, and the feeling comes after. So you've got to actually put one step in front of the other before you do it. I've said this so many times before, and it's just so, it's such an easy, funny thing to think about. But when I would make homemade bread all the time, and I would have my baking days, and they were long and they were huge, and I love to bake. But it's daunting when there's so much that I wanted to bake and freeze for the whole week. And all I needed to do, I knew, and I did it, is that just put the water and the yeast in the bowl to proof, and then you will get some traction. Every single time warm water goes in, I'm feeling like I'm not feeling it at all. I'm not feeling it at all. I even got my apron on, trying to see if that would help. It doesn't. But once I get the warm water in, and I then get a little bit of yeast in, and I see it proof, I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to rock and roll. My feelings caught up with it. With every single thing that you're going to do, you got to go for just acting. Same with how God wants us to be when we act according to his word and his promise before you see it, before you even you're just going to go and you're going to do it, and you're going to go in faith, and you're just going to go. You're not going to go by your feelings. You're going to go by truth, not facts. So you feel tired and you don't want to do it. You never go by facts. You go by truth. And that is, that if you get going, you're going to have a really successful day, and you're going to have everything that you accomplished done. You only go by truth, never fact. Because fact is always temporary, because it's in the world and it's temporary. Okay? So just I want you to, if you guys get this, see ya. You're going to soar like eagles. I'm telling you, you're going to soar like freaking eagles. So now, I've said this many times, but you are going to want to make sure that you weave your to-dos into your daily plans. We've talked about this before. I'm going to say it again, but you need to water it. You need to water these mini goals. So it was like with anything, that's why you're creating details. It's almost like you're watering a seed. So a to-do list is virtually just a word until you breathe life into it. And how do you breathe life into it? You water it by giving it a bunch of detail. You know your when and your why and your how, and you know when you're integrating it, and you're choreographing it, you're fully persuaded, you know that it is serious, and you gave it the integrity that it is, which is a mini goal, and this is going to help you go from here to there. And so you've given it its proper due. And so now you're watering it, and you're giving it all of you're breathing life into it now through detail. You're breathing life into it. That's how you breathe life. When it's just sitting there stark on a little square piece of your calendar with a cute sticker and you think you're somebody, you're nobody until you breathe life into that. It's nothing. It's literally nothing. Words are nothing until they are spoken through belief, and they are written, which is even better when you write it, because it does something psychologically. When you write it and you're like, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to make sure that I think through every part of what I want to do to ensure its success. So that creates thought. And then my mind's churning. My mind's now taking note of how, why. It's all working for me rather than not giving it a thought other than to do it. So, but if I integrate it into my life, obviously that's giving it its proper due. I mean, it's giving it its proper place. It's your life. It's part of you. So give it life. So you're like, okay, so when I get up, I want to make sure that the dog has stayed in this crate until I get my coffee going and pressed, and then I'm going to get my shoes on, and then I'm going to take her out, and then we'll do a little 30-minute play, and that way, and then we're going to lead her back into her crate, and she's pooped and tired, and now we're going to do our Bible study, and now I'm going to be working on part of my goals for my business, and then I've got to do, you see what I mean? I just want to give you a little bit of how the mind is thinking, giving that goal some serious life. You're watering that seed, and it will happen for you through the watering, which is your detail. Okay, you guys can't skip this part. I want you to get it. I know there's been a lot of misinformation about how these to-dos, you get a little confused, you don't know how it's going to work for you, and it just gets a little bit confusing. And so I hope that this really gives you some clarity and some revelation that you need so that you can make plans that stick. Let's give you one more. This is especially true if you are new to me, okay, and my method. And if you're used to being a to-do lister where you just list and hope to God you do it and you can check it off and feel like a great, like you've excelled. Listen, don't beat yourself up. You've just given it its wrong. You haven't known any better. Okay. So here's my last hack. Don't overshoot. Give yourself now sometimes I believe in that. I do it all the time, but it doesn't hurt my esteem or ego when I don't hit it. So I know I'm cool. If honestly, I can step back in scenarios like that and say, hey, why am I so offended? Is this, because I introspect all the time, like, is this an ego hit, or what really is this? And then I can adjust. Okay, so I know where those come from. Now listen, if you are an to-do lister, then you are going to want to make sure that you don't overshoot in the beginning, because you want to get some mini wins here, right? I mean, you want to get mini wins. When you get the mini wins, now you can graduate. Okay, but you want to get many, many, many wins and then graduate onto like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. If I don't hit it, I'm going to move it over. You're cool with it because you get it. You understand. Now you're a master. Okay. But before you can become a master, you really gotta baby step yourself there. You gotta go and be the learner and the beginner and really, and get through these mini wins. Make things small, but get them in there and water them with the fullest of detail. Give them the integrity they deserve. Get those wins. Get some wins under your freaking belt. I think sometimes too, we just get so ambitious, don't we all? And we just, oh, I'm going to do this today. And you don't even start. I mean, it's best to just do a 10-minute treadmill thing if you've got all the other things checked off in terms of the timing, blah, 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 blah. You're ready. You're fully persuaded. Don't overshoot. Don't say you're going to be a runner today. Okay. Don't say you're going to eat so healthy today that, you're wondering why you have, keto flu. Ease into stuff. Ease into stuff. I've learned this the hard way. I'm 50. My gosh, have I learned it. I mean, I am the queen of jumping in cold. I am the queen. I'm like, today is the day. I mean, I'm always like, I'm going all in. And honestly, it does work for me, but I don't think I have to go through quite the suffering. I just would rather have just eased in, but I usually am an all-in girl in everything that I do, and it has its negative consequences because you don't have to suffer like that. I mean, my gosh, ease in. My husband's always like, take it easy, and I'm like, well, I just want to do it, I just get too ambitious, and I'm telling you, don't do what Jenny did in that regard. Don't be so ambitious that you can't get many wins under your belt. Okay? You want to get the many wins. So there you have it. I mean, I really feel like this is the punch that you needed. You're gonna get that. You're gonna be like, you know what? Give me my planner and my pen right now. I'm ready. So I hope this has helped, guys. Share this with anybody, any woman that might need some help in really succeeding in all that they set out to do. And man, give those mini goals, those to-dos, the proper attention and their proper due. They are huge, and those are really what give you your success, because those are your mini goals. Give them the proper attention that they need. Water them through the detail of the how and the why. Make sure you've inspected it so that you know the timing is right and you've educated yourself enough, and that you're not overshooting so that you can accumulate some mini wins to become a master planner. There you have it. Till next time we're together. Bye.